Hello again and welcome to Shed Talk, my weekly magazine style video series looking at the keeping, breeding and showing of cage birds with a particular focus as always on the exhibition style budgerigar. And this will be the last episode of Shed Talk before the Christmas, or before Christmas. So what I thought I'd do is we would have a Christmas roundup of all of the breeding cages and see whether I've been a good boy and Santa's brought me lots of full eggs and lots of chicks in each of the nest boxes. As always, if you enjoy the videos, don't forget to hit the like button, and if you're not yet a subscriber, please do subscribe to the channel. All the subscriptions help the channel to grow, and please do comment on anything you see in the video or anything else. I do try to answer all of the comments as soon as I can. Sometimes there's a bit of a delay because of I might be busy over that particular weekend. But yes, I do try to answer all the comments, and they're all most appreciated. Right then, let's have a look at the breeding cages, and this time we will do a run round starting at cage 1. Well, starting off then in cage number 1, this is now a split pair. You might remember this cage originally housed what I considered to be my best pair, which was a yellow face opaline cinnamon sky blue that we crossed to a dark green. And I thought they were really well matched actually in terms of what the hen was going to give to the cockbird and what the cockbird was going to give to the hen. Unfortunately, things didn't work out the way we anticipated. We did get one full egg off the first round. She only actually laid a couple of eggs, which was a surprise because she was a proven hen. But we had one full egg, got addled. So we ended up with nothing off of this, and you might remember then what happened was the hen became badly fouled around the vent. We did manage to save her, but since then the whole vent had become blocked, but since then she's been sat in the nest box not doing very much. I did say in the last episode the plan was to split her. She is now recovering in a small cage on her own. I'm pleased to say she looks fine, perching alright. She is still very active in terms of gnawing at the wooden bits of the cage, so I'm not sure if she still is in breeding condition, but there's no sign of big teeth, there's no indication that she's going to. When I took her out, I did check around to see if I could feel any eggs. Nothing, so like I say, she's now in that cage having a rest, and I will pop her back into the main flight probably after Christmas now, maybe just into the new year after she had a nice long rest, and we'll find her a new partner towards the end of the 2025 breeding season. As for this cockbird, I want to get something off this cockbird, so and we know he can fill eggs, so I'm currently still looking for a decent hen for him, and what I'm going to do is probably pair him back up again after the Christmas period is over, so when I've got a bit more time to actually look at a decent hen, get them out, compare them and do all that side of things. So that's my plan for this cage. He's going to stay in there for the next until I can't find him a new partner, and that will ideally break any bonding that he's got with the previous hen. Right, so that is cage number 1. Let's move on and talk about cage number 2. Okay, cage number 2. This has been and continues to be a relatively successful cage. This is a cinnamon sky blue cockbird that we have put to a dark green hen. I think this hen may not necessarily, I say a dark green hen, I have a feeling it might be a violet. So a green violet, if that makes sense. It's carrying the violet gene. Only because the youngest bird that they produced in their first round is almost certainly a violet. So it looks to me, it's a blue and a violet blue, I think. Anyway, so like I say, they're really successful in their first round. We ended up with, I think it was 6 full eggs off of this pair, of which 3 have hatched successfully. and are weaned and are now in the nappy fight. They weren't great birds. We looked at them in the last episode. If you haven't seen that episode, go back and take a look. They weren't great birds. There were two hens that possibly keepers, just possibly, only because they're hens. The cock bird, nah, definitely not, I don't think. But we might be able to keep both the hens or maybe one of them. Anyway, they're now on their second round. They've currently got 4 eggs, I think it is, in the nest box, of which I definitely know the first run of those is full. So carrying on as they left off previously, really good news, and hopefully this time we might get some better chicks than we did in the first round. Only because when I put these 2 birds on paper are my second best cock bird and my second best hen. So I was sort of hoping to produce something a bit better than they produced in the first round. If they don't, then we'll split this pair and we'll perhaps try them with different partners and see if that helps them click a little bit better. But all seems to be going well here in cage number 2, and you know, it's always good to get some more full eggs on the second round, and we've got some chicks on the perch. Right, let's now have a look at what's going on in cage number 3, which is of course a newish pair, an older hen but a new cock bird in there. In the last episode they weren't doing very much. Have they progressed since then? So cage number 3, so like I said, this is a relatively new pair. We've got a hen that's been in there for a little while. She laid I think it was 6 eggs in her first round with a different cock bird, and they were all clear, which is why we've swapped these over. The cock bird, those of you that regularly watch the show will know, and I say this almost every episode, the cock bird that was in here with her has never filled an egg with any of the hens that we've put him to, so I've sort of given up on him anyway. Right, so we've moved into here, a dominant pied that bred really well for me last year, so again it was an outcross that we got from Terry Sadler, so I'm hoping that this cockbird will have some success with him again in this round with this hen, and so far. You might remember 2 episodes ago I had real high expectations these were going to go straight down. Didn't happen at all. However, the hen is starting to show a little bit of more interest in the nest box again, so that's good news, and the hen and the cockbird are getting on well again. So again, I think there are signs here that we might have some success. I was just wondering, let me know your thoughts on this. I'm just wondering, this hen laid 6 eggs in the first round, all of which were clear, and we removed those eggs and the cockbird from here, gave her a little bit of about a week, I think it was maybe 2 weeks, before we reintroduced the cockbird. I'm just wondering whether it's taken her a little while to come back into condition, because there would normally be that period where the eggs would have hatched and she'd have been feeding chicks prior to her thinking about going back down for another round. And maybe that's why it's taken her a little while to research out the nest box and that side of thing, just because she's not in that natural cycle of laying and then feeding and then raising those chicks to fledge and then going back down again. Thoughts? Let me know whether you've had that experience where a hen has taken a little while to come back into condition after she's laid a round of clear eggs. It's not something I've really noticed previously, but it just suddenly occurred to me as I was thinking about why this hen was taking a little bit longer to go back down again. She does look in condition, but who knows. Anyway, so like I say, thoughts about whether you've had the problem with that, taking time after a clear round to come back into breeding condition. So that's cage number 3, where, like I say, I'm still relatively hopeful for this pair. What about the cage number 4, where we had the egg eater, and we managed to persuade her not to eat eggs, and we had some eggs that she was now incubating. How's that pair getting on? So to consider cage number 4, which is actually my pair number 7, this is another sky blue opaline cockbird that we paired to a dark green. Now in terms of, I suppose, production, this pair's done really well. So they've laid a total of 9 eggs, of which 6 were full. The really unfortunate thing is that the hen started off as being an egg eater, and we lost the first, I think it was 2 or 3 of those eggs just because she ate them. What I then did though was every time there was one in there, I moved it into cage number 6, and we'll go and take a look at that cage in a minute. In order to save the eggs, and we're replacing those with marbles. I suppose a bit of the good news is that after she had laid another few eggs, she had discovered that she was supposed to sit on them and not eat them, partly I think because she couldn't break the marbles. So the last 3 eggs she's actually sat on, but of those, so that's egg 7, 8 and 9, of those, sorry, 6, 7 and 8, of those only egg number 6 is full. The last 2 were not full. So she certainly sat on 1 full egg. My plan with her is there's some younger chicks now in cage number 6, and we'll start to move those into here once I'm sure they've been fed. So once they're 2, 3 days old, I'll move them into here. They'll be strong enough to touch that they'll be calling for food, and you know, touch wood, she'll feed those and assume that they're her own, and that will, you know, serve as save 2 potential problems. One, only having a single chick in this cage, but also the fact that there's going to be some quite large age gaps between the oldest and youngest chicks in cage number 6. Right, so that is cage number 4. Relative success. Hopefully in the second round, because we'll let these go again, I would imagine. Hopefully in the second round, the hens now learn not to eat the eggs, so we won't get any more egg eating. Big touch wood. Right, let's move on and have a look at cage number 5. So cage number 5 then, which is a green cockbird that we've paired to a Lutino hen. Both relatively young birds, and I was a little bit worried that because they were so young, we might have they might not be filling eggs straight away. I'm pleased to say I think they've now laid 5 eggs in total, the hen has. First one was clear, but the second 2 are definitely full, so touch wood, the remaining eggs are full. Every time the hen comes out, the cockbird is treading her, so hopefully the final few eggs that she lays will be full, just like the second and third egg are. So really pleased with this pair, because as I think I said in the last episode, you know, I'll be really happy to get some more split inos, which is what we will get from this pair. So all the cockbirds will be split for ino, so split lutino or albino, and the hens will be normal. So I will, you know, I'll know. So I know that any hens in here will be normal, but the cockbirds will be split. It will give me some options anyway next year to probably try and further develop the ino family that we're starting to produce here off of that original Terry Sadler cockbird that we got. That cockbird will go back into the breeding cages once the breeding cage becomes available. So again, we might then get some half brothers and sisters or some cousins for the cockbirds here. So that would be good. Right. So that's cage number 4. Really, I am really pleased with the way these are going. Funnily enough, the eggs in here, you can probably see them in the picture. The eggs in here are smaller than some of the other nests, which isn't a particular issue. I've never really thought there's a major correlation between the size of the egg and the size of the bird. But the other thing is with these particular ones is they are much more shaped. They're much more pointy at one end than some of my other birds seem to lay. I don't know whether that's just a genetic thing that this hen has picked up. I can't remember it with the other hen. With her mother laying that type of egg. I'd have to go back and have a look. at the previous videos. But yeah, they do seem to be a little bit. Let me know your thoughts. Please. Just one of those things that when I open it, I look at them and go, oh yeah, they look a little bit different to the other eggs. Right, so that's cage number 5. Let's move on to the final cage, cage number 6, which we know has chicks. And the final cage then is cage number 6, and this cage is really doing well. So you know that this pair laid, I think it was a total of 7, maybe 8 eggs. Plus the hen was looking after eggs that we'd moved from cage number 3, the egg eating cage, and we've had a number of chicks hatch. So far, both parents doing really well here. Cock's very attentive to the hen, feeds her when she's out. He quite often goes into the nest box and feeds her. I was a bit worried, given the crampedness of that nest box, that might cause some problems. So far, touch wood, no problems at all. We've had 4 chicks hatch, 3 of hers, and 1 I'm reasonably certain of, I think I've just said, as one of the chicks from cage number 3. Oldest chick, we are ready to ring that eldest chick, so that will be ring number 1 of the 2005 rings. So keep an eye on that bird, it's our ring number 1 bird. Anyway, so like I say, just about to ring that. All of these chicks are being fed really well. There's still a number of eggs in there that are due to hatch, and like I say, what I will do is probably move some of the younger chicks out of here once I'm sure they've been fed, and moving them into cage number 3 and let the hen in there bring those chicks up. It'd be unfair given the number of chicks that she's got and the gap between eldest chick and youngest chick, and the problems that we've already spoke about previously that will produce. So really pleased with this pair. Couldn't have asked for more, I don't think. All we need now is for 1 or perhaps 2 of those to be reasonable birds that we can perhaps try and get out on the show bench next year. So finishing on a high, that really good news to finish on a high. So that's a full roundup of all of the nest boxes in the budgerigar breeding so far. Generally, I am quite pleased with how the breeding season's going this year. So, you know, I've had far worse seasons than this, and you know, I think we're currently up to 9 chicks that have hatched in this breeding season. So again, that's really good news, isn't it? You know, I can't. Yes, I am pleased. Let me just say that I am pleased. Stop waffling. I am pleased with how the breeding season is going. Well, that does bring us to the end of another episode of Shed Talk. And before I go, I just want to wish everybody out there a very Merry Christmas. I hope you have a wonderful festive period, and that Santa brings you everything that you asked for on your list, provided you've been good, of course. Whether that be lots and lots of chicks, lots and lots of full eggs, or just a pair of socks, whichever it might be. But most importantly, as always, do stay safe and enjoy your turkey.